Hey, what's up there, YouTube? This is No Budget Duelist, bringing you a deck profile for my new Wind-Up Turbo deck that I've created. I mean, I'm fairly new to the realm of Yu-Gi-Oh, and well, I'm not new to Yu-Gi-Oh per se, but I go in and out, so I'm very much new to this meta. So I was like, okay, I've come to understand that wind-ups are overpowered. How so? And so, uh, I did a little bit of research. Uh, I heard about the wind-up loop before, and I was like, huh, the fact that they can discard your entire hand would be extremely advantageous. Huh, I think I might have to see for myself. And then I made this deck. So, yeah. Just so you all know, I personally do not like this year's meta at all. Uh, I think that between this year's ban list and some other, junk that I shouldn't be talking about at this exact moment because this is about the deck and not a rant video. Uh, Basically, it's rendered a lot of decks useless, which I personally don't like, and I know a lot of other people don't like. But I digress. So let's get on with the deck profile. All right, so we've got our 3 Gilasaurus, our 3 TG Warwolf, our Sangan, our Marauding Captain, 3 Tour Guides, and then to the wind-up part of the deck, you've got your 3 Hunters, 2 Hunters, 3 Magicians, 3 Rats, and 3 Sharks, and then, as you can see, I'm not running any traps, or even a side deck. So onto the spells, we've got a Card Destruction, Dark Hole, Triple Hand Destruction, Heavy Storm, what is that, Limiter Removal. I'm looking at a tiny screen. I don't have the deck list memorized, so bear with me. Monster Reborn, Pot of Avarice, Triple Upstart, Triple Factory, and Double Instant Fusion. And then the extra deck is a Tyrus and an Adrius, Double Daigusto Emerald, which are not in the TCG yet. So as of this exact moment, if you take the Emeralds out, this deck is a TCG deck, but with the Emeralds in, which actually do quite a bit in the deck, then you're only looking at like OCG deck. I don't even know if it's released in the OCG because I don't know that much about Yu-Gi-Oh, and I don't know where to go look up stuff about Yu-Gi-Oh except the wiki. But I'm too lazy to do it. So leave a comment below telling me like the condition or like the like whether Daigusta Emerald has been released or announced to be released yet. So yeah, I'd be grateful for that. And so then I've got my Utopia, Leviathan, Acid Golem, 3 Zenmaity, 3 Zenmains. In real life, I would only ever recommend running 2 Zenmains. I've actually had to use 2 before, and I barely squeaked by with the victory. Like if I let them win one more turn, I would have been OTK'd so hard. But there's a little bit of yeah. So run 2 Zenmains at least. The 3 Zenmains is good though. And then 2 level 3 fusions. I happen to be running Cherubian the Fire Knight and something else. You can run whatever fusions you want to because it doesn't matter which one you use. But yeah, so I mean, this is just a turbo deck. It's nothing like super duper fancy. It just works. That's all it's designed to do. It just works really well. Every single game I've gone into, I have been able to pull off the loop first turn. So it's super consistent, and that's just with my first draw. Like maybe you get like a hand, and before I didn't even have the Marauding Captains. Like I just added in the Marauding Captains and haven't played a game with them. Before I had 2 tour buses. And the tour buses I never used for anything, so they were just kind of taking up space. And then if I ever drew into them, they would probably be a dead draw, which they were at one point, except I discarded it with hand destruction. So I guess that in that sense, they had some sort of purpose. I was able to discard them instead of some other card. But yeah. I have the Dark Hole and Heavy Storm just in case I'm going second. And yeah, but yeah, so the Triple Gilosaurus, this is designed to be a first turn deck that if you're going first, you're just going to drop their whole hand. So it's got Triple Gilosaurus and Triple Warwolf. What's cool about those is that you can, those two and Shark are basically a free +1. So like let's say you have a Shark and a Tour Guide in your hand, you can summon the Tour Guide, summon the Sangan, overlay them to summon the Zenmaity, and then when you summon the Zenmaity, you summon the Shark, and then you've got a free 3, 4, or 5 on the field. And let's say maybe you had a factory on the field, then you could add another Shark to your hand, and then you could summon it, and then that's how you summon for Daigusto Emerald. And then later, once you get through the loop completely, then you use Emerald's effect this turn to reset the Zenmaities, and then your next turn, if like you don't get blown up or something, then you use Emerald's effect again to return the other monsters, and then you restart the loop. It's just like Pot of Avarice, just has to stay out an extra turn in order to completely reset the loop. So yeah, and so you guys know how the loop goes. You summon the Zenmaity, and then like somehow you have to be able to get like let's say you're using Tour Guide. Well, let's say your starting hand is Tour Guide and Gilosaurus, then you automatically know you're going to be able to do the loop and get at least 3 cards out. And if you have Pot of Avarice, you're going to be able to get 5 cards out. And if you have Wind Up Factory, you're going to be able to get 5 cards out this turn. You're going to be able to discard everything that they might draw, every turn after this. So this is basically like the ultimate hand control deck. You just basically send all the cards in your opponent's hand to the graveyard. There's no discarding involved with this. And just a warning to you all: if you start with a card destruction and you don't have a good hand, don't just be like, card destruction, nee. So if your opponent's running Dark Worlds, then you just got every single card in their hand's effect to activate. So don't do it. Use hand destruction if you have it, or upstart if you have it, or some kind of draw power if you have it. If you can't Xyz at all, because with this deck, if you use hand destruction, you're gonna be able to get into something that will let you Xyz if you don't just draw it first turn, which I drew it every time with my first hand, not even counting my draw during my draw phase, just like the first 5 cards always let me do the loop. So this deck is consistent, which is a good thing. And I mean, the extra deck is just really it's just really normal. I've actually summoned Adrius and Tiras before in separate duels, and both times I was able to use both of their effects to the max. And yeah. So that's why those are there. The Emeralds are explained. Utopia is there just to be another good rank 4 in case your opponent has a big monster in the field and you don't feel like just, summoning Emerald and wasting it. Then the Leviathan, in case you don't want to have to detach or take 2,000 damage every turn, in case you're trying to stall a little bit. And, you detach one, you got a 25 beater, and you detach another one your next turn, you get a 3,000 wall, because it can't really attack directly. And then the Zenmaity and the Zenmains are obvious, and then the other cards are pretty simple too. And yeah, so this is my Wind Up Turbo deck. I run 3 Magician because it's Magician. It just works well, and I don't know what else I would replace it for. Like, should I replace it for another Marauding Captain, or because it always seems to be like the only real dead draw that's not always a dead draw in this deck, if you get what I mean. So yeah, and that is my Wind Up Turbo deck. Thank you, YouTube. Have a nice day.